What's up, guys? It's the Book Geek, and I'm back with another video. And today I want to talk to you guys about the books that are already on my shelf that are highly anticipated reads for the 2019 year. Like I mentioned in my reading goals video, I'm going to be reading a lot more books that I already own, books that are already on my shelf. I have hundreds of books on my shelf that are unread, so I want to get through some of those before I start accumulating a whole new batch of books. So these right here are some of the books on my TBR for next year that I am very excited to read. First up is The Revenant. I love a good story about revenge, and I was a huge fan of the movie. So I've been wanting to read this book for a long time, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and so why not? I'm going to read this next year. It's really just a great story about vengeance, and I can't wait to read it. Also, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I plan to read this entire series, but right now I only own book 1, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of the movie franchise. Not sure why I have not read this book yet, but I would love to get through some of these books that I've been wanting to read for a long time now that are just sitting on my shelf collecting dust. So basically, if you don't know, the story is about these people. They live in these different districts, and there are these games that are held, and I believe one boy and one girl from each district is forced into the games, and basically in these games you fight to the death. And of course, we have Katniss Everdeen, our protagonist in the story, our female protagonist in the story, who offers to go in place of her sister. And she just becomes like this hero, legend, you know, she's phenomenal. I'm very much looking forward to reading this entire series. Also, next on the list is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Once again, love the movie. In this story, we have Simon. He is a closeted gay boy. He has not come out to his friends and family yet. And he has been sending flirtatious type of emails. He's been corresponding with someone through email, another gay boy, back and forth. He's not sure who the person is yet, but they've been flirting back and forth with one another. And those emails end up in the wrong person's hands, and that person is trying to blackmail Simon, and I think they're threatening to out him. The movie was fantastic. I really love the movie, and I love that we have a gay character, and I just cannot wait to pick this one up. I'm sure I'm going to get through it in no time. Next is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This is like an apocalyptic survival type of story. I love those type of stories. We follow a father and son as they walk through post-apocalyptic America. I'm not sure where in America they are, but supposedly the scenery is very descriptive in this story. Once again, another movie that I really liked. And we get to see how just this father and son survives on their journey to wherever they are going. I know they're going somewhere. They don't have much, and it's just the two of them, really. Have Gone by Michael Grant. I've talked about this book in a couple of videos, I believe, and I've been wanting to read this entire series for a long time. I'm just very fascinated by this whole idea of how all the adults have disappeared and there's nothing but children left in the world. Very fascinated by that idea and cannot wait to read this one. Divergent by Veronica Roth. Here we have another dystopian type of world. In this dystopian world, society is divided into these different factions, and on a particular day, everyone who is of a particular age must decide which faction they want to devote the rest of their lives to. And so our main character, our protagonist in the story, is Beatrice, and she's struggling to determine whether she wants to remain in the faction where her family is, or if she wants to move on to a different faction. Once she chooses which faction she wants to belong to, she ends up discovering some things about this world and this society that they live in that are not good, and that things are not as they appear to be. And so this turns into an adventure for her and a fight for her to overcome what's happening in this society. I love the movie, and I just cannot wait. I love Trish. I love her so much, and I cannot wait to read this book. The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Another dystopian world. In this story, we have our main character, Thomas. He comes up in this lift in the middle of this glade, and he has no memory of anything. The only thing he will remember later on is his name. And this glade that he has appeared in is occupied by nothing but boys. And then one day a girl arrives, and everything changes from then. And when I tell you, this movie was so exciting, and it just made me want to read the book even more. I love this world. I love the idea. I forgot to mention that surrounding the glade is this huge wall, and the wall is actually a maze. And every day we have these particular people, boys, who are called maze runners, and they run the maze every day. And I guess they've been trying to find a way out or whatever, find answers, and really no answers are discovered until Thomas comes into the picture. Another book that I am excited to read next year is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I don't know much about this book, but I'm really excited to read it based off what I've heard other people saying about it. I've seen some people give this book some praise, and just simply through word of mouth, it got me excited to read this book. It is a young adult contemporary story. It is about love, healing, and forgiveness. I know that's very vague, but we also do have some LGBT characters in this book, and I'm just really excited to read it. Also, Sigh, is that how you pronounce this? I never know how to pronounce this book, but it is by Neil Shusterman, and it's the first book in this series. And in this world, people no longer die, and so these people, there are some people who are trained and appointed to be spies. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Don't kill me if I'm saying it wrong. But they're trained to kill people to help control the population, because apparently in this world, people no longer die. There's no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. So people are just living longer lives, and these people are trying to control the population. So I've never read a Neil Shusterman book before. He's an author that I've been wanting to read from for a long time now, and I just have never gotten around to reading his books. I also want to read the Unwind series. I haven't done it yet, and this one is sitting on my shelf. I have a Neil Shusterman book sitting right on my shelf, and I've been wanting to read him and haven't done it yet. So we're going to do that next year. We're going to read a lot of books that I already have on my shelf, and this is another one that is highly anticipated. Also, Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Don't kill me for the pronunciation if it's wrong, but I believe this book is just going to pull at the heartstrings. It is about a boy who has some facial deformities, and he just looks different. And he's been homeschooled, but now he's going to be going to regular public school. And we follow him on his journey as he deals with the world outside of his home, and people and bullies and making new friends. And it is a young adult book, but I believe it is a book that all ages can enjoy because of the lessons that are taught in this book. And just because it's just so heartfelt and it's important. So really love the movie and cannot wait to read the book. Also, Dread Nation. This is like, I cannot wait to read this book. You have no idea. This book is by Justina Ireland, and there are zombies. So that's all I need to know to be on board with something. Zombies, I'm there. But anyway, the character in this story, her name is Jane, and she was born, it says 2 days before the dead begin to walk the battlefields of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear to be interested in this book. And then we have the whole thing about, you know, racism and prejudice going on, where the blacks and I believe Native Americans, I'm not sure, but I know the black people are put into these type of schools to teach them how to combat. They teach them how to fight the dead. So basically, they're giving the black people the dangerous job of defeating the zombies. I can't wait to read this. I'm very interested in this. And I think that Jane is going to, I just think that she's going to be just some badass warrior. I don't know. I'm just excited to read this. I love the premise of the story. The concept is great. I can't wait to read this. I'm excited for this. I think this will be a 5-star read for me. I don't know. And also the pages are like decoed. Oh my God. I love it when the pages look old and worn like this. Please. I hope this book is good. I hope I'm not going into it with high expectations and that it's going to be a flop. Please let this book be good because I have such high expectations for this one. The last book I'm going to show you guys that I am so excited to read next year. There are other books, but these are the ones on my shelf that I'm most excited to read. And the last one is The Shape of Water by Del Toro. Del Toro. I'm not going to pronounce his first name. Del Toro and Danielle Cross. So in this story, we have Elisa. She is a mute. And she works at this research center, some type of aerospace research facility. She's a janitor there. And one night she sees this creature. He looks like a man, like a fish man. He's an amphibious man. And she doesn't agree with what they're doing with him, for one thing. They're in there doing research on him. They've captured him, taken him from his home, and they're doing research on him and not being very kind to him. And she ends up growing an attachment to him. And I believe she falls in love with him. And it's just a romance fantasy story, and I am all for it. I am here for this. I've seen the movie, but I never got to see the ending because the DVD that I borrowed from the library was defective, and it kept cutting off at the end. So I don't know how this book ends. I only seen parts of it, like I said, because the DVD was messed up. So I'm going into it halfway blind, and I am excited for this. And not to mention, the cover is so beautiful. I put this down as my favorite cover of the year, my best / favorite cover of the year. This wasn't a cover buy. I already knew what the story was going to be about when I bought it, but this is the prettiest cover that I have this year. And if you want to see some of my other pretty covers or cover buys, you can click my, go to my channel, and there's a video there where I show all my cover buys and my favorite book cover of the year. This is my favorite book cover of the year. It's so beautiful. Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. I love this book cover. And I love the movie. And I am excited to read this book. So that's it, guys. Those are all the books on my shelf right now that I am really excited to read next year. Let me know down below some books that you are highly anticipating for the 2019 reading year. Leave me any suggestions, book recommendations down below in the comment section. Of course, as always, my information will be in the description box down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys another time.